YouTube, what's good? It's your boy, Carlos Harris, aka Medusa. Hey, if it's your first time tuning in, hit the doggone subscribe button, hit the doggone notification bell every time I post up new content. Well, it seems to me, and it seems to be, at least for right now, right? We got a new president in the White House, right? Now, I can sit up here and I can tell you, or tell y'all rather, that we can actually really look at it and just accept it and deal with it for how it actually is. Or we can actually really look at it how President Trump himself is looking at it and a lot of his supporters, right? Because a lot of them saying that it's fixed. You know, there was an election that was actually really stole from him, right? And, you know, considering I'm just looking, just looking at it like this, y'all. I'm looking at this the exact same way that I looked at the election 20 years ago, right? Pretty much the exact same shit, you know, and the only difference then, I really don't think no diseases was out then other than stupidity, right? But there was actually like really, you know, there was the same thing, and I talked about this in one of my previous shows, where that the whole stuff about, you know, the absentee violence from overseas, they didn't get over on time. But when you do early voting, I really have to ask the question. If I really got to ask the question, okay, so if you did early voting, then how, you know, explain how it's not possible for the votes to actually really get in on time. You know, it was the same problem 20 years ago. It's the same problem now, right? So, you know, I'm just looking at all of this, and you gotta be like, okay, so we haven't learned shit, or they haven't. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say we. Y'all haven't learned shit in 20 years. That's exactly what the fuck is going on, right? Me and people like me keep telling y'all that the shit is fixed. Y'all still don't want to believe it. 9 times out of 10, all of y'all around here jumping up and down, shaking your ass. 9 times out of 10, you probably some of the folk that you probably didn't vote. But you part of the celebration process. Now, if you actually really went out and voted, then hey, by all means, right? But what I'm trying to tell y'all is this. Technology is a motherfucker. If indeed that's what the fuck you want to call it. Because I look at it like this. Whether that you actually like really manually count. The average motherfucker is actually really gonna lose count. Even the goddamn machine is actually like really not susceptible. It's not invisible to motherfucking human error. Because you gotta look at it like this. Who invented the motherfucker? That's what you gotta actually really stop and look at. So here's the deal, people. And like what I always say, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. But then again, you guys really gotta ask yourself, okay, who's putting in the goddamn numbers? Okay. Again, this is what the fuck you actually really got to look at. And so I'm just like, but the one thing that I'm actually like really looking at this point of the juncture right now is that, okay, if you knew this going in, if you actually like really knew this going in, then why the fuck did you, how come you didn't take like necessary precautions as to far as like, okay, well, hey, look, strong possibility that a lot of this shit gonna act like really get miscounted, right? So we need to doggone make we need to make everything precautionary efforts, right? To actually really be like, okay, well, look, if a fuck up happens, then we got it, right? Motherfuckers been knowing that the election was gonna happen straight out the gate, right? So you knew that was gonna happen. So now everybody is in an uproar. Everybody is motherfucking recounting shit. You got President Trump for the most part. He want a doggone. He's demanding a recount. Okay, I get all that, but you know what I'm saying is this. In Hollywood, 9 times out of 10, they wrote this script, right? Just like they did this shit 20 years ago. So here's the deal, people. You already know there's some shit, put like this, there's always the possibility of some shit going down as far as like presidential election goes. Right? So, and then was what the whole thing that's so interesting about this. And that's why I say Hollywood did this, because for the most part, they painted Trump out to be this villain type of a person, right? He don't like so-called black folks. He don't like so-called Latinos. He don't like so-called women. And he most definitely don't like Rosie O'Donnell, right? But then again, you gotta look at it like this. Donald Trump, just like the rest of the motherfuckers, right? They all in the goddamn public eye, right? What is Trump known for? Gambling casinos. I mean, let's be real here for a minute. Gambling casinos, we already know that a lot of every gambling casino that you went to and you go play them goddamn slot machines, this shit is actually really designed to take your motherfucking money, right? And then you got Joe Biden on the other hand, right? This motherfucker been in office for 47 years or 48 years, according to my man Zach Hubbard, right? 48 years. So that motherfucker, he been in office longer than I've been motherfucking born. His son died due to mysterious circumstances. See, this is what these motherfuckers do, right? But you know, again, what I'm getting at is this: if you ain't did shit in all that goddamn long, right? I mean, I'm just like, okay, because I'm like this, because if I was in Biden's shoes, which I'm not, and I'm not trying to be. So, but let's just say for shits and giggles, right? that I've been buying shoes. And if I actually really look at, well, who the fuck is in office? I just thought of something right fast, but you know, I'm not even gonna go into that right now, right? I'm not gonna go into that right now because that will most definitely be stretching the shit. But what I'm saying, I'm just like this. Okay, from 1972, right? It didn't cross your mind that one time to actually be the rougher president. I mean, and then, you know, you got to look at it like this too. And that's what I was telling some of my friends on Facebook last night. I'm like, okay, here it is. You ran as the vice president. For a president, for the most part, his identity can actually really be questioned. Now you running as the president, and your vice president can actually really be questioned on her goddamn identity, right? So you almost got to look at it like this, right? All your life, damn near, probably you probably been your main focus was putting motherfuckers in jail. And it just so happened that the people that you put in jail just happen to be someone similar to my color. Super predators. 3 strikes and you're out rule, right? But, you know, not to say that all black people act alike and look alike, right? But then you go back and you listen to some of these guys' speeches, and for the most part, he putting all of us in one goddamn box. And we ain't gonna talk about Kamala, the Ugandan giant Harris, because just know that those motherfuckers, they got the same name. And isn't it funny that the day that Kamala, the wrestler, died is the same 2 days later, Biden actually really have him or have her as his running mate to be vice president. Entertainment industry. I don't give a fuck if it is politics. So they say that an investigation is going on right now. And it's just like what I told y'all a couple of nights ago. Trump himself said this is going to be the most fucked up election ever. So again, why would he say that? Again, I told y'all about the whole state of emergency piece, right? And I'm actually really still gonna stick with that, right? But here's something else that you might actually really want to actually take in consideration if I didn't already tell y'all, is that, okay, the right hand is right there on your face. Or let's just say that it's the left hand that's in your face. But if you don't know your right from your left, all what the fuck you see is a hand in your face. And then just look how close it is. And then you got this motherfucker back here. Say, hey, ooh, look at me. This is what the fuck you want? No, motherfucker. Be right here. So again, this is how y'all have to look at things. This is how y'all have to look at things. Like seriously, right? Listen. Let's look at it like this. Right? Everybody's looking at the simple fact that, hey, guess what? History was made because, for one, y'all actually think that y'all got Trump out of there. 2, you got the first whatever the fuck she is, that's actually like vice president. Now, I'm not gonna downplay the fact that she's a woman, right? So if you actually really look at it from that aspect alone, yeah, that's that's history. Amazing history. But then again, you also gotta say, well, wait, stop the press. Let's flip script for a minute. How old is this motherfucking country? Again, how old is this motherfucking country again? And we supposed to be the motherfucking forefront, right? So how come it took some 200 plus years later for a woman to actually really own the seat of being either president or vice president? That's what you gotta ask yourself. I mean, we holler about being the best. The best in every goddamn thing. But we just not having considering if it stands, right? Having the very first female as vice president. Like, seriously, what the fuck is wrong with this picture? They want everybody to come together. At least that's what the fuck they tell us. So, again, this is what the fuck you actually really gotta ask yourself. I mean, yeah, there has women that has ran for either president, Shirley Chisholm being one of them, or they was on the same card and they ran for vice president. I forget that woman's name. I think it was Mondale. Anybody that watched this, once y'all get to this point here, y'all know who I'm talking about here. So the idea has always been there to actually really have a president or vice president as a woman. Me personally, I ain't got no problem with it. If that's what the fuck you want to do, then I ain't got no problem with it. But as long as you do it by legal means. Now, if the voting machines was fucked up like they claiming that they were, right? And then ballots actually really coming in after polls have closed, then you really got to ask yourself the question. You got to ask yourself the question, right? Okay. How bad did they really want Donald Trump to get out of there? Because you got to look at it, because let's look at it like this, right? Let's just say that, because time, it acts like, I'm not gonna say that it travels backwards, right? But let's just say that when the polls closed on the eastern seaboard, you still had another 2 or 3 hours before they actually really closed on the western seaboard, right? And so basically what happens is this, okay, polls is closed, right? Stop whatever the fuck I'm doing, stop counting. If they didn't get their shit in, oh fucking well, right? Especially, right? You already done told motherfuckers, hey, look, y'all can vote early. So if you didn't get your vote in between the time early voting started until whenever the polls close, regardless of what state that you in, guess what? You fresh out of motherfucking luck. Come back and try to do it again in 4 years. Right? So, I mean, because I was looking at it like this, right? Last for the 2016 wasn't no motherfucker, wasn't no problems then. I mean, yeah, they said, okay, well, Russia had some dealings with it, but if you actually go back and watch one of my earlier shows, where that I actually said that, hey, look, there's no enemy. It's just rich and powerful men. Rich and powerful men that actually really work with one another. There's no such thing as a goddamn foreign enemy. All these motherfuckers are friends. All these motherfuckers, they smoke, they drink, and they fuck each other. I'm just putting it out there, right? And I dare for somebody to actually really take this shit off my channel, right? Because I said the exact same shit last night or the night before, right? So this is all what the fuck they do. This is all what they do, right? So again, with everything else, put like this, with everything else in life, when you take a test or anything that is actually really timed, right? If you ain't on your shit, guess what? You are not gonna make time. And then what's so bad about it, they gave y'all, because of this bullshit coronavirus, they gonna say, okay, well, we gonna make this shit early. We gonna give everybody a chance to vote. But my question is this. If you got the mask on now and you went to go early vote, how come you couldn't have the mask on the same day as election day, right? And if your motherfucking ass was too goddamn scared to go out there and cast your vote because you were so goddamn eager to get Donald Trump's ass out of there, then motherfucker, shame on you. But it's just like what I told y'all. Be careful. Be careful of who the hell you want out your house. Be careful who the hell you want out your house. Be careful of who the hell you bring in your house. Plain and simple. So all you motherfuckers say, Trump is out. Okay, here come this next motherfucker. Hope you ain't got no kids. I'm gonna say it again. Hope you ain't got no kids. Y'all done seen the videos. I ain't gotta put the shit out. But all I'm saying is this, right? And then here's something else. As far as like with Kamala Harris goes. Y'all, and I already know what so-called black folks gonna do. Cause y'all like some of the ignorant ass people out there. Y'all gonna look at it and be like, well, damn, Obama was the first. Or so they claim. Right? Knowing damn well that he wasn't the first to do it. Right? And then they're gonna be like, well, damn, they don't want black folks to have no goddamn thing. Right? But that ain't always the case. That ain't always the case. Sometimes, put like this. Because if y'all, and the only reason why I say that is because if y'all actually like really looking at it, and if y'all actually really looking at it that way, then It's actually really bullshit. It's bullshit. And for the most part, y'all have said, well, motherfuck what Dr. King talked about. What did he say in his I Have a Dream speech? Not my skin color, but the content of my character. So, again, you motherfuckers ain't learned shit, because here's the deal. Y'all looking at this fact, okay, we want Trump out of there. Motherfuck what he did for the economy. Y'all just going off of what the fuck he just said about certain people, right? Okay, so now here come Biden and Harris, and then you guys really got to stop and look at Biden for a minute, right? Biden is riding on y'all's coattails. Because Biden knew right off, if he wouldn't have got it, nobody, like this, if he would have picked anybody other than Kamala Harris that calls herself black or whatever the fuck she calls herself, he already knew that he had no chance in hell actually really beating Donald Trump. Now, whether or not that he actually really want to sit up here and say, hey, ooh, I love black people, or I love so-called motherfucking African Americans, right? Do you love them, or do you love them just enough so that way you can sit your ass down in the Oval Office as president of the United States, right? And I'm actually really going to sit up here and say that he loved y'all enough just to say, hey, y'all gonna do this for me so I can sit my ass down in the Oval Office and actually really not give two shits about y'all once I actually really sit down in the Oval Office. This is something that's been going on. This is something that's been happening all through the years. Elections, every election has been fucked up since goddamn day one, because somebody somewhere is always gonna miscount some shit because of who they feel like that was. Because, put like this, you can take that piece of paper and you can check off who the fuck you want and give it to whoever, right? But what does that really mean? And so the next question that you got to ask yourself is this: okay, well, and then when you say, okay, Apollos Harris, you say the elections are fucked up, and then y'all be like, well, how are we gonna pick the next president? Who says we need a goddamn president? Who says we need a motherfucking president? Like, really? Ain't you grown? You don't know how to actually really police up after yourself? I mean, if y'all actually really, truly, honestly think that y'all need a president to run this motherfucker, then yeah, y'all dumber than what the fuck I thought you were. Right? Because for one, you know how to count your money. Two, right? You got enough sense about yourself that once you count your money, and when you say, hey, look, guess what? I got fucked over, right? You get sick, you can do one or two things. You either call grandma, that's if even the original grandma is around anymore, or you get your ass to the goddamn hospital and fix it that goddamn way, right? All I'm saying is this: the motherfucking president shouldn't be responsible for regulating any goddamn thing. And I know a lot of y'all gonna say, oh, but that's what they got Congress for. Get them motherfuckers out too. Get them out of there. Get them out of there. Because they don't speak for nobody. Because they just as bad, if not worse, than the motherfucking president. So I'm just saying, motherfuckers been playing ever since goddamn day one. But hey, it is what it is. So with that being said, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dad, tell Big Bertha, tell your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door, across the street, around the corner. Paul's Harris, aka the Medusa. I hope you bastards learned something today, and I'm out.